Yay Media Group.
Hey guys, it's Stephanie.
I'm Trey.
This is your weekly dose of BS.
So in the middle of all of our move debacle, I feel like I have stress tested my husband to the max these last, I would say probably 6 weeks.
Yes, because you don't tell him anything's happening and he comes home and it's like somebody sanding the floors and you have no kitchen and he had no idea. Yeah.
So he was gone for 2 weeks doing this big work events, and then he comes home and we immediately start filming the show with our new house, and then that gets done, and then we immediately get renters for our new home. So we have 15 days to get into our new house, which doesn't sound like a long time, except it kind of is, when I then decide, hey, we're actually gonna start renovating 4 days before we move in. Day of our move, our movers ghost us.
Wait, what?
They just no-showed, yeah.
Shut up. And you did not pack anything because they were going to do everything.
We had most everything packed, thankfully.
Oh, okay. Because
Yes.
I thought they were going to do everything.
I thought they were going to be packers too. We did pack. Zach actually went through and he packed a lot of it. He wanted to
throw things
I think
away.
initially I was like, all right, we're going to get packers. But yeah, he wanted to purge, and he also wanted to inventory every box. He bought this handheld scanner thing that prints barcodes. He could scan stuff in and out of that. It was he had a whole system.
Wow.
Right?
I need him to come whenever we move back into our house.
Honestly, yeah. And then our movers weren't there. So day of, Zach was like, what are we going to do? And I was like, well, I'm going to hire TaskRabbits. And so
What's a TaskRabbit?
Oh, it's the best thing ever. You can go on the app and hire people to come do little handyman jobs.
Okay.
So I was able to hire 2 people to come. Mind you, it was Memorial Day. It was a holiday. So, I was like, oh, great. I need someone in an hour. So we did half the work ourselves, which let me tell you, thank God for my athletic ability.
Oh my gosh. He is the most unathletic person.
Well,
No.
I had
He
the
is
strength of a mama that was flipping a
strong.
truck that day. I know.
He is strangely strong.
I'm shocked as myself. And I loaded up. Zach was already stressed out, so he was dropping the dogs off at a friend's house while we were doing that. And I was like, I'm going to load half this truck before he gets home, just to really wow him.
Oh, jeez.
And I did. And I did great.
By yourself
Anyways,
without the TaskRabbit?
Yes, they didn't even show up till noon.
How were they? Were they worth it?
They were great. Yes, I know, because I was like, hey, big furniture. Y'all are on that. I got the boxes. You do that. So anyways, got it handled.
Good.
And then what else has gone wrong in my life since then? I was trying to think. There was something else before my big one.
I should have known when I was on my trip, and the only message I got from Trey the whole time was, I hate my life, or something like this.
I was like, when are you home? When do you come home?
I should have known. I should have known all the hell was falling apart. All I said to Travis was, Trey said he hates his life, and I could have seen this coming weeks ago. He said, I hate my life. I'm never moving again.
Yeah, what I realized is I enjoyed your move because it wasn't my move.
That's
but
normal.
during my move, I hated my move. And I
by
was
the way,
like,
I'm enjoying it.
I see. I see why Stephanie really hated that day, because she was like, this is never happening. And I was like, well, actually it is happening, because you got to move back into your house, but whatever.
It's going to be. But you know what? I feel like whenever I move back in my house, it's going to be such a happy day for me. I'm going to be like, it's hopefully going to be everything I dreamed
She's
of.
going to be out of town. She'll be like, I got to go. Goodbye.
And yeah. Now I know I'm just going to hire 2 TaskRabbits and Zach
yeah.
to organize. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we get moved into our home, which is still dusty. Because things are happening. Oh,
I could have told you that.
I somehow develop a sty from all the dust in my house. I was like, awesome. Now I'm down to one eye. And then on Thursday, wake up and Zach's dog Rue is acting funny. And I was like, something's off. He's laying in the living room floor. He had just thrown up his food, which is not like him. And even when I went over to him to pet him and try to get him into bed with his dad, he was just acting funny. And so I go wake Zach up and I got his dog in bed, and he ends up taking his dog to the vet. Well, if anyone that knows my husband knows that he is absolutely obsessed with his dog, Rue. He has thrown these elaborate birthday parties for his dog since he was 1. We just threw our last birthday party at Stephanie's house right before she remodeled. It was a whole shebang.
Yeah.
It was his 6th birthday party. And we ended up having to put him down that day. And that was really the I was like, okay, God, we have stress test Zach enough. We gotta see some positive coming out of this soon. So it's been a really rough week for us, not having a full house and then losing Rue. You know, you don't realize how much, or maybe you do, how much joy your dogs bring to your home. And just like, they're always happy and they're always excited to see you. And they're always like, they're the first person to greet you when you come home. And it's those little things that aren't happening now that are really weighing on Zach's heart. So we are ready to get the house finished and find some peace and normalcy. But yeah, Zach and I are really missing it's like Rue was like his soulmate. And so not having that has made this that much more difficult. He
loved that. I mean, I'm saying I'm
telling you, there was not a more celebrated dog than Zach's dog. I mean, even he has hats, shirts, koozies. Like there is more merch for that dog than you would believe. But I was talking to him the other day and I was like, you know, what I can confidently tell you is while we did not know that he had heart cancer, which we've since learned is very prevalent in golden doodles, but that's usually around like age 12 to 14 that starts to develop. He's so young.
That's what Trey told me this morning. I was like, he was a baby. That's just crazy.
Oh, and he was so full of life and so energetic. But I was like, you know, at least he was able to live every day with joy, and there was no pain. He never went to the vet he was never on meds, never on none of that stuff. So you
brought him to like City Vet, which we both use City Vet if you live in Dallas. Yeah. And then they said, it's like kind of the same thing with Luna. Like you need to go somewhere else.
And they sent us to the same place that you went with Luna. And I remember whenever I went with Stephanie to pick up Luna, she was like, hey, never come here. It's the world's most expensive animal hospital.
It's so expensive.
And somebody told me where he was going. I was like, oh boy.
It's so expensive. Hopefully it wasn't as expensive for you as it was for us.
And so they went and they drained all this fluid around his heart and they got him stable. And then Zach called me a few hours later. Mind you, Zach never calls me in the middle of the workday, like ever. And so when he does, I'm like, what's wrong? Yeah. And I was out touring with some clients and he kept calling me and I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I have an emergency. I have to go. And Zach was like, it's not gonna.
So they drained the fluid and then the doctors were like.
His heart rate was his heart, they said, was so enlarged. They had never seen another heart like it. And I was like, Zach, that's your lovable boy.
Yeah.
So it was a sad week for us. It's as silly as it sounds, like with a dog, they really are such a big part of your family.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
That's been, it's like the little things, like the noises you don't hear in the house anymore. Like, or the things that you know, sometimes you wouldn't, would or wouldn't do so the dog wouldn't bark. Like now it's just like, it's just weird. But yeah, we're just adjusting to life in a new home with new noises, with one less tail wagging around, but we know he's up in heaven chasing squirrels and playing with tennis balls. So
I told Trey, I said, do you want one of my dogs for a few days? And he said, no. And I said,
because my dog Ellie does not like Luna. And that would really set her over the edge.
You can have Montana, my nice one, okay? I'm a giver. I'm a giver.
Well, on that note, we got to take a break real quick, but we'll be right back.
Well, dang, that was so sad, Trey. I'm so sorry. That's horrible. I'm sorry. I feel like I need to send Zach some flowers or something. Good Lord. Trey was like, should I buy another dog? And I said, I feel like you should wait just a little bit, like just a little bit, and then just make it a happy occasion. And
that's the hard balance of like, we still have a dog who just lost her best friend. And I had another dog before that we had to get rid of for behavioral issues. So my dog's already been through a loss.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is the balance of like, we need to heal our hearts, but also like, I need to keep her busy.
Yeah.
Because she kind of rejected Rue for a while. Whenever Zach first started bringing her around, she was like, not interested in you. I don't want that same thing to happen, especially as we then start going towards like having a child, like just like all the change happening and she's getting older. I don't know. It's a weird balance of
bring her and let her pick out.
Let her pick out a dog. Yeah. It's a weird balance of like you're balancing your own emotions, but also having to think about like, okay, what is is she going to get along with someone? But also like she's home all day. Now she's home all day by herself. That's
that's hard.
Ugh. So
have you ever, you should get like a little Furbo, those little camera things where you can spit out treats and talk to them. And then,
well, I'm kind of like, thankfully I still have contractors at the house. So at least she's not home by herself all day. Like there's other things happening that'll keep her interested. I almost considered a cat. And then I was like, oh, but a litter box. Have you ever had a cat?
Okay. So I dated a guy that had a cat, and I will say I'm not a big cat person. However, it was the easiest animal ever. Now he only had a cat. I did not have a dog at the time. And that cat could be home alone for a few days. I mean, it's real easy. I mean, they just like the litter box. Now they have them where they're like self-cleaning, and the cat just like eats whenever it wants. It's like a very self-sustaining animal where I feel like dogs need a lot of help. Cats are just, the thing I didn't like about the cat is I don't like cats getting on like the counters. They just kind of get over, but they're real easy, and it was really sweet. It was, one of those like Persian cats, really pretty. But there's like, I mean, I don't know if I would, I don't know. I mean, I would not have a cat because my dogs are too crazy, and I think they would probably kill it because they're one of those, those hunting dogs. I didn't realize that we were, Australian Shepherds are just known to like hunt everything.
I didn't realize they were hunting dogs.
Yeah, I think so. Either that or they just like to, I mean, they have like.
They just are.
I will say there's a squirrel that walks by the door. They are like on it. One of my dogs will sit outside. I'll let him go to the bathroom. Montana will like sit outside and look up a tree I'll just see it staring up at a tree for 2 hours. Like I can't get it in at this stupid squirrel that I think does it on purpose. I really think this squirrel is kind of an asshole. And he's like, this dumb animal is just going to sit here all day. And the squirrel will kind of come down like halfway down the tree and get Montana excited, then run back up for an hour. I'm like, it taunts my dog. Luna does it. Luna's just crazy. She just wants to be where the humans are. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if I would do a cat because I think dogs sometimes will kill cats.
I know. I think if we got a cat, it has to be a kitten. We get a bunch of stray cats in our old neighborhood, and our dogs would go wild anytime they would come close to windows. They were like that. They are enemy number one.
Like they think they're playing with it. They could. I don't know. I just feel like that could be a death waiting to happen. I don't know. I would just wait a little bit. Maybe get a dog, just another dog. I think it would be
the idea of potty training again, which like we can do it, but like we just got new rugs.
Yeah, trust me. House. I feel it.
But then I'm thinking like a cat. I'm like, is a cat gonna scratch my nice new furniture?
Possibly.
Ugh.
I mean, it's just animals are tough. Yeah. Animals are just so tough. So I know that so off topic, but there is this show that I wasn't even excited about, but we had friends from Oregon in town. And last year I went to this, it was like a concert on the lake.
Oh yeah.
And it was called, I don't know what it was. It's like in Lake Oswego, Oregon. And it was like Hot August Nights, what it's called. So Travis and I went, and I remember my friend introducing me to this guy that her and her husband were really good friends with, him and his wife. And she was like, oh, this guy was like one of the world's biggest male models back in the day.
Oh.
And I forget his name, but I'm sure everyone will know about it soon enough. But she was like, oh, this guy, remember meeting him, and she was like, oh, this guy was like now he's like probably in his late 50s, early 60s. But at the time he was like like Cindy Crawford of male models. Okay. And she was like, oh my God, he has the craziest story. Like he was in a cult at one point. And I was like, what? But I had a few drinks, so I didn't care. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I like hopped around and was hanging out on this. So they were at our house yesterday because their daughter goes to school here. And they were like, oh my God, our friend, I don't think he's from the US because he had kind of a weirder name, like a name that's not a common name, I guess. And they were like, oh my gosh, our friend, they're doing a documentary after on him. HBO is. Oh. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Thinking, okay, there's so their husband was like, let me show you this trailer. So they show me the trailer, and the trailer's called Bring Me the Beauties. And what it is, it's him, like this guy who like started the cult. But I guess this guy was like very had a big personality, very captivating, always having parties and always like at Studio 54, and just would only want to surround himself with beautiful people. So he would always tell like the people close to him kind of in a cult, but they didn't, I think, knew it was a cult at the time, saying, oh, bring me the beauties. He only wanted to be around the beauties. So then he would help these people get, like he got this guy into Ford modeling. And then he would say, okay, well, like you have to give me, I think it was like 25%. There was a percentage of the guy's earnings. So he'd have all these people who he was making a percentage of the earnings on. And then at some point, the guy, from what he told my friends, is you're in a cult and you don't realize you're in a cult because you just think these are my friends. We're all taking care of each other. We're all living together. We're all trying to, be like in perfect harmony or whatever. Like, I think it's like a very LA type thing. And then, but what they realized is it was all fine and dandy, but this guy was taking all of his money. Like he literally, after he got out of the cult, was homeless. So he was like the world's like highest top model to being somebody who's homeless. Like within like no time. And, but he said whenever you got out, they would just destroy your life. So when you're in, it was like great. And everybody was best friends. And then when you get out, you couldn't leave. Like they would try to destroy you. So he did get out, became homeless. And guess who took him in?
Who?
Fabio.
Oh.
So I guess he knew Fabio from like his male modeling days. So Fabio took him in. And now he lives in Lake Oswego. I think he does very well, but it's really interesting that this whole
that comes out soon?
HBO. It's called like Bring Me the Beauties, I believe is what it's called. It's a documentary. And yes, not like I know the man, but I met him for 2 seconds.
Oh, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, but it's.
I love a good cult documentary.
I know. And like, yeah, a model cult. It's like the model cult is what it is. Like it's called like the model cult, Bring Me the Beauties or something. Super interesting. But I did meet this guy and he said, this is if you have children, earmuffs or turn it off. But the guy, the male model guy, told our friends that whenever he lived with Fabio, that Fabio would have like girls coming in and out, like he was sleeping with girls left and right? Because he was also the guy who was like on all the romance novel covers. And whenever they were making love, he would say, scream. Guess what he would scream?
Oh, I have no idea.
I would kill myself if I were one of these girls. He would scream, Fabio is coming, like to the top of his lungs as when he was having sex with these women. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot imagine. That is such an ick. But yes, but Fabio kind of saved him. Who knew? The romance novel model.
That's interesting. Speaking in third person, there's a girl that I met that dated a very, very famous musician. If I told you his name, you'd know exactly who he is. And he would only have sex with her with his music. Like he would turn on his songs and would have sex to his album. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. It's so strange.
The man was John Mayer.
Shut up right now. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What?
That way y'all don't have to message me and ask who it is. That's who it was.
Oh my God. Wait, was this recent?
No. This was like, she told me this. We were in New York. She was friends with another cast member of yours. And she had told me this. We were like backstage Watch Happens Live. And yeah, so it was years ago. She told me this. So I'm sure this was a long time ago, but yeah.
I can kind of see it happen. He's dated some like the most famous people though. If you think about like he's been with like Taylor Swift. He's been with Jessica Simpson. And you know what all of them kind of have in common is they say that he's not good for their mental health. I think that he was kind of a hard guy to date, but you see him kind of with Andy Cohen. I think they're friends, but he was such a big like music sensation. He hasn't really had anything for a long time, but I could kind of see it. But I think he's.
Well, on that note, we got to run.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting. You can follow me at Steph Hollman on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
You can follow me at Trey_Stewart. You can follow our podcast at BS the Podcast. You can watch us on YouTube at Weekly Dose of BS. Bye.
Yay Media Group.